Welcome, welcome! Thanks for joining me on this very special occasion. Geoff Keighley's hosted Game of the Year awards recently, but now it's my turn to applaud those titles that have earned a really special place in my heart over the year that was 2024. Now I'm going to go through the rules I've enacted for this particular awards presentation. First rule, nominees can only be games I personally have played this year. Not necessarily ones I've released a video on, just something I've actually played this year. Nominees have to have a version 1 release date between 1st of January and 20th of December 2024. Obviously, all the nominees will only be titles that are available on the PC because this is a PC channel. And I won't be accepting any early access titles for any accolade apart from the early access award. The other thing is, unlike Geoff, I won't be accepting DLCs unless they're attached to an actual game that released in 2024. Alright, enough chit chat, let's start the ball rolling. Most surprising game. This is the game that exceeded my expectations in some way more than any other game this year. Whether it was due to bad expectations that were shattered, or whatever it was, this game was the most surprising to me for 2024. And the nominees are Balatro, Last Epoch, Star Wars Outlaws, The Thaumaturge, and the winner is Star Wars Outlaws. The reviews of Star Wars Outlaws on average gave me the impression this game was going to be terrible, so my expectations going in could not have been lower. I was pleasantly surprised to find an amazing game world and a few game systems that were a lot more fun than I was expecting. There are some pretty heavy issues I have with the game, you can see my review for more, but this definitely exceeded my expectations more than any other game of 2024. Most disappointing game of 2024. This is the exact opposite, so a game I was looking forward to but ultimately let me down in a big way. Not really sure why I'm awarding this, but hey, it's my show and I'm doing it anyway. And the nominees are Star Trucker, Dragon's Dogma 2, Homeworld 3, Stargate Timekeepers. And the winner is Dragon's Dogma 2. This is going to hurt a lot of people. It was a tough decision because I really didn't like Timekeepers, but ultimately it was down to expectations again. I was quite excited about what Dragon's Dogma 2 could be. And I know there are fans who love this game to bits, and I don't want to take that away, but for a myriad of reasons, it just didn't click with me, and hence why it's my most disappointing game of this year. Best Early Access Game. This is the category for those games that weren't actually released quite yet, but the winner is the game I've enjoyed the most this year that was in early access and not quite yet at version 1. And the nominees are Manor Lords, Enshrouded, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, Hal World, and the winner is Enshrouded. This was a really tough lineup. Pal World was a fun game, but I was never really into Pokemon, so it's probably lower on this list. Manor Lords was truly excellent, it was a solid game, but ultimately the ability to play either solo or multiplayer in Enshrouded with that beautiful open world and that amazing soundtrack was what won me over. Best game I'm terrible at playing. This is the game that I know is good, but damn do I suck at playing it. And the nominees are Helldivers 2, Pacific Drive, Black Myth Wukong, Solium Infernum. And the winner is, of course, it's Black Myth Wukong. Easy win for Black Myth. It's such an amazing game to play with incredible boss rushes. It's a mixture of Souls-like and God of War. I really don't enjoy Souls-like games, but Black Myth won me over with its gorgeous world and its graphics. And just some really amazing bosses. Best Story. Everything else in this game might be disappointing or not, but the story was exceptional in some way. And the nominees are Indiana Jones and the Golden Circle, Black Myth Wukong, Space Marine 2, Star Wars Outlaws. And the winner is Indiana Jones and the Golden Circle. Pretty tough battle between Golden Circle, Black Myth Wukong, and even Space Marine 2. In the end, Indiana Jones wins. It's closer to a movie more than a game in a lot of ways, and the performance of Troy Baker as Indiana Jones is beyond anything else I've seen this year. It's a really enjoyable story. Independent Game of the Year 2024. This is my most favoured title of all the indies this year, 2024. And the nominees are Pacific Drive, Balatro, The Thaumaturge, Tactical Breach Wizards, and the winner is Balatro. Oh, this hurts me the most. 2024 was a really strong year for independent games, and there were so many I didn't get time to play that I'm sure would deserve a nomination, like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Animal Well, Nine Souls, Tales of Kenzera, Plucky Squire. Oh god, the list goes on. I'm only one man, and honestly, all of the indie games I played this year were brilliant. I really enjoyed playing through the Thaumaturge. It's such a different idea for a game. And the same thing with Pacific Drive, it's another impressively cool title. Tactical Breach Wizards was a hilarious and fun time for turn-based strategy. In the end, Balatro won out. It was a game that held my attention for an age, but whether it was on PC or on my mobile, I did spend so much time playing this game, and it's a deserved win. Multiplayer Master of 2024. This is the title that I played and enjoyed the most with friends. And the nominees are Space Marine 2, Helldivers 2, V Rising, Last Epoch, and the winner is Helldivers 2. There's honestly not much I don't like about Helldivers 2. It was such a monster release, even outshining the developers' expectations. Ended up crashing servers with the amount of people clamoring to play it. It's definitely had a controversial run this year with patches that nerfed a lot of fan favourite stratagems, but I've still played through all of these rough patches and I've enjoyed the game the whole time. There's even still content being released. Recently there was a new race, the Illuminate, which finally showed up, which was really cool. And finally, Game of the Year 2024. This is the game that was the most fun or the most enjoyable for me personally of the entire year. The nominees are Black Myth Wukong, Indiana Jones and the Golden Circle, Space Marine 2, Helldivers 2, and the winner is Space Marine 2! I'm a pretty big Warhammer fan, so I personally enjoyed Space Marine 2 more than any other title this year. I've spent more hours playing Helldivers 2, but given there's such an excellent single-player story mode in Space Marine 2 that can actually be played with a friend, it just won out. The graphics are jaw-dropping, the enemy interactions and animations are insanely cool, multiplayer offers amazing replayability. I've had a good amount of fun with all of these titles. Wukong challenged me the most, but I appreciated the amount of heart that the devs clearly put into it. Helldivers 2 was the most fun I had with buddies, and Indiana Jones was the strongest single-player story I had this year, but ultimately, overall, for a Warhammer fan like me, Space Marine 2 had the story, it had the multiplayer, it had the graphics, and it had the gruesome fun of combat gameplay. So that's it for 2024. Quite a strong year for games, probably stronger for independent games than anything else. But there were just so many great titles. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought your game of the year was in any of these particular categories. And a special thanks to everyone who's watched some of my videos this year, and particular thanks to those who've subscribed. I don't like doing the vocal call to actions during my review videos because I think it detracts a little from the info I'm trying to convey. So thanks if you've taken the time to like some of my content or interact with me in the comments. Special mention and thanks goes to AWKX, who's been there with me in the comments this whole year. I really appreciate you making the effort with all of your comments on my videos, so thank you very much. And that's a wrap for me for 2024. I'll hopefully see you all next year.